Hello and welcome to Rivar IAS. This is CSAT class for UPSC examination. If you analyze trend using previous year papers, you will get to notice that the level of CSAT paper is gradually increasing year by year. So we need to elevate our preparation. This is the reason why so many aspirants couldn't write mains. Even though they are good at GS, they fail to qualify paper 2, that is CSAT. So we have to prepare for the worst. Now let's start with some basic concepts. In this session, we are going to discuss thoroughly about the topic ratio and proportion. As you know, every year there will be around 2 questions from this concept. If you could do this topic correctly, you would be able to attempt many related topics because this is interlinked with many other concepts like percentage, ages, etc. So let's start with this particular topic. First, let us know what actually ratio means. Ratio means comparison. Comparing things of same types. To know what same types, let us have an example. 10 days versus 2 days. Can we compare them? Let's see. Days represent time. Here also days represent time. Now we can tell that both are same types. That means we can form ratio out of it. Let's take up another example. 2 minutes versus 10 days. Are they same types? Can we compare them? Let's see. What does minute represent? It represents time. Days also represent time. Now can I say that these two are same types? Yes. Thus we can form ratio out of it. And now if someone says 3 days versus 2 kilometers. Does it make any sense if I try to compare them? No, right? Because days represent time here and kilometer represent length. But both are of different types here. And ratio is comparing things of same type. So we cannot compare or we cannot form ratio out of this. When we are comparing same types, common parts get cancelled. Let's take up 5 kilometer versus 10 kilometers. What's the common part here? That is kilometer. Kilometer get cancelled and we know that ratio is reducing things to their simplest version. So our ratio would become 1:2. So ratio doesn't have any unit. Okay, now let's have some basic understanding of ratio. Here is a ratio 2:3. The rule is if I multiply or divide any ratio with a number, the ratio doesn't change. For example, if I multiply the ratio with a number that is 2, our new ratio would become 4:6. As I told earlier, the ratio won't change. So the ratio 2:3 and the ratio 4:6 are one and the same. That is 2/3 equals to 4/6. And if two ratios are equal, they are said to be in proportion. But this doesn't hold good for addition or subtraction operations. That means if I add the same number to ratio, the entire ratio would change. So the only option is to multiply or to divide so that the ratio remains same. The next thing is standard format of a ratio, means how to interpret a ratio. Let's understand it with an example. There are two persons, A and B. Let's say A is earning 200 per day and B is earning 300 per day. And now we need to represent them in ratio. For that we have three kinds of interpretations. Interpretation 1, second interpretation and third interpretation. Okay, the first interpretation is A is to B. It is given that A is 200 rupees and B is 300 rupees. Cancel the common parts and you'll get 2:3. This is the first interpretation. The second interpretation is A by B equals to 2 by 3. And the third interpretation is A by that's value, that is 2, equals to B by that's value, that is 3. And interpretation 2 and the third interpretation are called equation format. Now C comes in and says that he is earning 400 per day. How to interpret them in ratio now? Again, let's have three interpretations. As we know, first interpretation, A is to B is to C equals to 2 is to 3 is to 4. Second interpretation was A by B by C equals to 2 by 3 by 4. Is it correct? No, there is nothing like this interpretation. So, interpretation second doesn't hold good here. The third interpretation is A by that's value, that is 2 equals to B by 3 equals to C by 4. And this is called standard format of a ratio. The next concept is combining relations, that is converting various ratios into single ratio. Let's solve one question here and find out how to combine relations. There are two ratios, A is to B equals to 3 is to 5 and B is to C equals to 2 is to 7, and we need to convert it into single ratio. For that we have three methods. Method 1, second method and the third method. To combine ratios, we need to look for the common element here. What is the common element here? That is B. What is B here? It is 5 and here B is 2. To combine these two, we have to make B equal. And to make B equal, we are going to multiply the first ratio with 2 and we are going to multiply the second ratio with 5. And our A is to B becomes 6 is to 10 and B is to C becomes 10 is to 35. Now our B became equal, that is 10. And we can combine and compare these two ratios as 6 is to 10 is to 35. This is first method, but it will be lengthy and takes lots of time in examination. So let's move on to second method. In this method, write down A is to B is to C and write 3 and 5 below A is to B, and in the next row write down 2 is to 7 below B is to C. Now repeat the last term, that is repeat 5 here and repeat 2 here. Now multiply each column and our new ratio would become 6 is to 10 is to 35. Now let's learn third method, which is exam relevant method. Write down the two ratios 3 is to 5 and 2 is to 7. Multiply the first column and write it as A. Multiply the last column and write it as C. What is B here? 5 and 2. Now multiply B and write down it as B. So our A is to B is to C becomes 6 is to 10 is to 35. This is how we combine relations. Now let us solve some questions based on this concept. If 33% of A is equal to 55% of B, then find the ratio of A and B. 33% of A is equal to 55% of B. Here 100 get cancelled. 11 times 3 is 33 and 11 times 5 is 55. And A by B becomes 5 by 3. And the ratio of A and B is 5 is to 3. The second question reads as, the sum of the money is to be distributed among A, B, C and D in the proportion of 5 is to 2 is to 4 is to 3. If C gets 1000 rupees more than D, what is B's share? They have given that C gets 1000 rupees more than D. That means the difference between C and D is 1000 rupees. Here there is a difference of 1 unit. If 1 unit is representing 1000 rupees, what is B's share? It is 2 units. So the B's share is 2000 rupees. Here comes our third question. The ratio of three numbers is 3 is to 4 is to 5 and the sum of their squares is 1250. The sum of the number is. The numbers are 3x, 4x and 5x and their squares are 9x square, 16x square and 25x square. They have given the sum of their squares. The sum of their squares is 50x square which is equal to 1250 and x square equals to 25 and x equals to 5. They have asked to find the sum of numbers. Sum of numbers is 12x, that is 12 into 5 which is 60. And the fourth question is, Amit started a business by investing 30,000. Rahul joined the business after some time and invested 20,000. At the end of the year, profit was divided in the ratio 2 is to 1. After how many months did Rahul join the business? Here we need to know that profit will be distributed in the same ratio as that of investment. So we need to find the ratio of investment here. So the ratio of investments of Amit and Rahul is 30,000 for 12 months divided by 20,000 for 12 minus x months. If I simplify them, it would reduce to 36 divided by 24 minus 2x. And they have given the ratio of profit which is 2 by 1. If I further simplify it, then 18 equals to 24 minus 2x and 2x equals to 6, x equals to 3. So our answer is 3. That means Rahul joined after 3 months. Here comes the next question. The monthly income of Komal and Asha are in the ratio 4 is to 3. Their monthly expenses are in the ratio 3 is to 2. However, both save rupees 600 per month. What is their total income? Monthly incomes of Komal and Asha are in the ratio 4 is to 3 and their expenditures are in the ratio 3 is to 2. We know that savings equals to income minus expenditure. So our savings ratio would become 1 is to 1. It is given that both save 600 per month. That means 1 unit is representing 600 rupees here. They have asked to find the total monthly income. Total monthly income is 4 plus 3, 7x. That is 7 into 600 which is 4,200. So their total monthly income is 4,200 rupees. Here is another question that reads as, two equal glasses are respectively 1/3 and 1/4 full of milk. They are then filled up with water and contents are mixed in a pot. The ratio of milk and water in the pot is. There are two glasses and here is 1/3 of milk and here 1/4 of milk. To compare them, we need to make the denominator equal. To make denominator equal, let's take LCM of 3 and 4. LCM of 3 and 4 is 12 and our converted ratios would become 4 by 12 and 3 by 12, which means there is 4 parts of milk and 12 minus 4 is 8 parts of water here, and there is 3 parts of milk, 12 minus 3, 9 parts of water here. Now they are poured into single vessel in which there is 7 parts of milk and 8 plus 9, 17 parts of water. So the ratio of milk and water in the new pot is 7 is to 17. So this was brief about ratio and proportion. In the next class, let us try to solve few more problems so that concept becomes completely clear to you. For any clarifications, you can comment below or feel free to contact us anytime. Thank you.